If you like these stories and you want to follow the giants along on their adventures, please hit the subscribe button. Thank you. Dragon Toots. Back when the giants were little, Mom and Dad Giant decided it would be a good idea to get a pet. They didn't want a normal pet. They wanted a dragon pet. So they found one that was for sale, and it was just a baby. It just hatched out of its dragon egg. They went to go pick it up, and it came with a bag of dragon food and instructions to feed the dragon twice a day. When Mom and Dad arrived home with their dragon, the kids were so excited. And after much conversation about what to name the dragon, they decided they would name her Char. Char was a beautiful dragon. She was purple, and when you looked at her in the light, you could see little shimmering of green. She also made super cute little baby dragon noises. The kids loved Char immediately, and they would let Char eat her food right out of their hands. Char was the best dragon that anybody could ever ask for as a pet. But one day, a problem came with Char. Char had just finished her breakfast, eating out of Bo's hands, when she started acting a little bit funny. She was rolling around on the floor, making just weird dragon noises that the children had never heard before. And all of a sudden, she tooted. But this was not a normal toot, because when dragons toot, fire shoots out. "Mom, Char's burning our coffee table," Bo said. Mom came running over with Luna and Apple Peach Banana with buckets of water to put the fire out. "How did Char burn our table? She's never done this before," Mom asked. Bo explained to Mom Giant that he was feeding her breakfast out of his hands like normal, and then she acted all funny, and then she tooted, and fire came out and burnt the coffee table. Fire? Fire came out when she tooted? Luna asked. Yeah. Out of the whole time that the giant family had had Char, she had never once had fire come out of her mouth, let alone any other place. So this was quite a surprise. Hopefully this never happens again, Mom Giant said. After the morning toot that Char did, she had a normal day and did everything normally. She wasn't crabby. She didn't have any more fire toots or anything. The giants kind of thought it might have just been an accident or something weird that had happened. Until it was dinner time for Char. This time, Luna was feeding Char out of her hands, and Mom Giant was patiently watching, just to see if anything funny happened. Char ate her food normally right out of Luna's hand, and then went outside to play. Char was flying around and having so much fun going around the chicken coop and around the trees. Then she started acting funny again, making weird dragon noises. And then she tooted again, and this time she burnt down some trees. She burnt them right down. They were crispy and black and smoking. Oh no, this is a problem, Mom Giant said. They kept Char outside the rest of the night, just in case she tooted again. In the morning, they discovered that she didn't, so they figured maybe she was normal again. They gave her breakfast, and then they were busy. They had to go to the other side of the mountain, so they were gone the rest of the day and didn't see whether or not Char was okay. When they got home that evening, they brought Char inside. They let her eat out of their hands again. She seemed fine, she seemed normal, and then all of a sudden she made those noises again. And she tooted again. This time, she burnt all of Luna's dresser with all of her clothes in it. What in the world was the giant family going to do about a dragon that tooted out fire? They knew that Char had a good heart and would never do this on purpose. But, she was catching everything on fire with her fiery toots. Mom and Dad Giant decided that they would have to keep Char outside from now on so that she wouldn't keep burning things in their house down. It was very dangerous, especially with kids. You just never know when she was going to toot. Poor Char, she wanted to be a house dragon, but instead she had to be an outside dragon. She did get used to it. She would sleep in the chicken coop at night with the chickens and became quite friendly with them. It was very cute. It was almost like she was the mother chicken, but she was a dragon. The little chickens would follow her around everywhere, but not too closely because they didn't want to be chicken dinner roasted in her toots. Then one day, when Char was outside, the family was gone all day and they never fed her any of her food. And that was the first day in a long time that she did not have any fiery toots. The next morning, Char was acting great. She had never acted this happy before. Luna went to go feed her, but then saw that Char was already eating some squirrels that she had caught that morning. So she took the food she had brought out and put it back inside and said, "Mom, I don't have to feed Char this morning. Char is feeding herself." "Oh, what is Char eating?" Mom Giant asked. Luna told her that Char must have caught some squirrels and was chowing down and super happy with that. And you know what? Char didn't have any more fiery toots that day. So the next day, Luna said, "Mom, I think the food might be upsetting her belly." And Mom Giant thought about it and said, "You know what? You might be right. Let me see what is in that food bag." Mom Giant looked, and you know what was in that food bag? Well, there was corn, chili peppers, wood, spicy salsa, and poisonous jungle toad. Oh man, Mom Giant should have looked at those ingredients sooner. Mom went to Luna and said, "Luna, you were right. You should look at some of the ingredients in this dragon food. What were we thinking giving her spicy salsa, chili peppers, and poisonous jungle toads? Anybody would have fiery toots if they ate those things." That day, Mom Giant, Luna, Bo, Apple Peach Banana, and Ernie went to town to find the dragon store and buy some proper dragon food. Luckily, they got the last bag of the dragon food that had real ingredients that a dragon is supposed to eat, like squirrel and chipmunk and lizards. They figured they would try that food just to make sure that it sat well in Char's tummy before going back to buy more. So they brought the food home, and that night, Apple Peach Banana fed Char from her hand. Of course, Char was super cute and licked cute little Apple Peach Banana's hands clean. She seemed to really like this new food, and afterwards, she was so smiley and happy, and she was flying around and had all this energy, and not one single toot. It took a few days for the bag to finally be empty, and at that point, Char was totally normal. No more fiery toots, and super happy. So Char was able to come back inside again and be a house dragon. After that, Mom made sure that she always had the correct food for Char to eat, so that would never happen again. And then, a few months later, is when Char was finally old enough to breathe fire out of her mouth. She only did it when it was necessary, like when the giant kids wanted to make s'mores and they needed to toast their marshmallows, or it was super cold up on the mountain and Dad Giant didn't have time to start the fire. The kids would say, "Hey Char, start a fire in the house!" And Char would go over to the fireplace and start a fire the way she's supposed to. You know, dragons can actually be pretty handy pets to have as long as you're feeding them the right food. Char grew up and became the best dragon. She would take the kids for rides, when they were smaller, not when they got bigger, because then they were just too big. And she would go camping with them, and she'd start the bonfires for them. And she also protected their chickens, because one time there was a coyote pack, and they were going to come and eat all of the chickens one night. But Char could hear them coming, so she went outside and stood right in front of the chicken coop, breathing fire at the coyotes. And you know what? The coyotes never bothered the chickens again. Which was a really good thing, because like I said, the chickens had begun to see Char as their mother. And Char loved those chickens so much. And if you ever decide to get a dragon as a pet, I would make sure that I was feeding that dragon the correct food, so fiery toots never happen to you. The end. Good night, Giants.